Eyemaxx was founded more than 22 years ago in 1996 and is active in the real estate segment since roughly 15 years. We have implemented a two-pillar business model, whereby the more important pillar is the segment of real estate development. The second segment is the property holding, where we are in a position to generate ongoing cash flows. Speaking of our first and more important pillar, here we are active in the residential sector as well as in the commercial sector. When talking about commercial sector, I'm talking about the development of nursing homes, student apartments, care homes, service apartments, but also hotels. When talking about property holdings, our second pillar, we have established throughout the last 5 years a portfolio of 13 properties, all of which in Austria and in Germany, both logistics as well as office units. We have 100% occupancy, and the property holdings have a value of roughly 40 million euros as we speak, a yearly net income of roughly 3.1 million, and in terms of yield or revenues, it means roughly 7.5% per annum. It's a very good question. We're focusing on our core markets. The core markets are Germany and Austria, where throughout the last 4 years we have established and developed a considerable pipeline of projects. It's very important to mention what we consider when we talk about a pipeline. The pipeline are projects that are already purchased or secured through a company and in various different phases of project development. So when I talk about pipeline projects, they can be either just being purchased or already under construction and ready to be sold. In Germany, there's a continuous demand for housing. Thus, we have decided to, roughly 5 years ago, go to the German markets where you have a huge demand. And here, we're proud that we have, meanwhile, several projects in this field and 3 outstanding ones, 2 of which are in Berlin-Schönefeld and 1 in Mannheim-Ludwigshafen, both together, or all 3 projects together, with an aggregate volume of more than €500 million. As I said before, we try to generate revenues not only through the sale of projects, but at the same time to stabilize our ongoing need for cash flow through our second pillar, the generation of rental income. And we plan to further develop and be active in the German and Austrian markets. And I would like to highlight, since I'm Austrian, that we would want to be even more active in Austria, because our core home market is the Vienna market. The key property holdings that we have are all located in Germany and Austria. But what I wanted to mention are not the property holdings, but rather our most important development projects. And here, I personally am in charge of the ongoing sales procedure regarding our currently biggest project in Berlin-Schönefeld, where we have entered into a joint venture roughly 1.5 years ago with a local partner. And it took only 1 year, ever since we entered the project, that we could start with the construction. And here we are about 18 months after our entering into this project, that we are, and this has actually been mentioned and also announced via public ad hoc publicity, we are in the final stage of negotiations regarding the sale of the entire projects to a very large, prestigious German institutional investor. And this deal will be structured through a forward purchase, which is a common instrument being used by developers like us, where we pre-sale our ongoing development to a particular yield, which again is based on certain rental income to be expected. And what is very important to mention about this important project of ours, that we could negotiate with the buyer, that they will actually take care of the letting out of the whole premises. So we have several hundred units of rental units which will be rented out not by us but by the buyer. Another very important project of ours is our city quarter development in Mannheim-Ludwigshafen, where we entered the project roughly 2 years ago. The project is ongoing in terms of construction. We have also already arranged and achieved a considerable amount in terms of volume of pre-sale agreements, also through forward purchases. And then, what I would like to mention, other than this huge project of ours, so that people don't get the impression that we do only huge, large-scale projects, we have just recently, in October, managed to secure a plot in Hamburg, where we intend to build a hotel project with roughly 130 rooms. Another hotel development project could be acquired and purchased a little bit earlier, I think 8 weeks ago in Berlin. Another project of ours which might be interesting is a student micro apartment project in Bonn. Yeah, I think that's enough for the moment. Forward sale is an instrument being regularly used by us and developers like ours, because the real key point in those structures is that the financial risk of ours is being shifted, since we can provide to the lending banks that we have a buyer at the end, so the bank is basically more secure in terms of refinancing of such loan. And build-to-suit projects are not within our key scope. Build-to-suit means that you build a project according to in German it's called Bau- und Ausstattungsbeschreibung, which are the specifics that are given by a potential buyer. Hotel projects are some sort of build-to-suit projects, because you build a hotel for a potential buyer, as we do, for instance, in Mannheim that I mentioned before. Here we have 2 hotels that are being built according to the standards provided and prescribed by the Accor Hotel Group. Our current project pipeline consists of almost 1 billion euros worth in projects. To be accurate, it's 975 million. And you can imagine it took us quite some time to get such a volume. And of course, we could grow even further, let's say 1.5 billion or 2 billions within the next 2 or 5 years, but it is not our goal to, without further, just try to expand our project pipeline. Since we have generated so many projects, we need to work on them. So what I try to lecture people in situations like this is that it's important to really also show the market that we are not only able to secure projects, but to also develop them, have them built, let out, and then being sold. Of course, as we speak, we have several more interesting projects of ours that are under scrutiny, and there will be some projects being bought, acquired, secured within the next couple of months. But currently important is to not safeguard, but to get things ongoing and things in a good position that we have under development right now.